Well, good morning. In today's video, we have an update on the legal fronts for Donald Trump's hush money criminal conviction, to where the judge said pretty much hell no to dismissing his criminal hush money felony conviction because of immunity, because none of the acts that were presented were considered official acts under the Supreme Court immunity ruling, which is bullshit. It should not be. Presidents should not. They should not, and I repeat, they should not be immune for anything. And this all falls under the Supreme Court that supports Trump. It's bullshit, and it should not be, it shouldn't have been created illegally. Let's get into today's video. So, the judge rejects Trump's bid to toss his hush money conviction because of the Supreme Court immunity ruling. By the Associated Press out of New York. A judge Monday refused to throw out President-elect Donald Trump's hush money conviction because of the U.S. Supreme Court recent ruling on presidential immunity, but the overall future of the historic case remains unclear. Manhattan Judge Juan M. Merchan's decision blocks one potential off-ramp from the case ahead of the former and future president, unfortunately's return to office next month. It says that his lawyers have raised other arguments for dismissal. However, it's unclear when or whether a sentencing date might be set. Prosecutors have said there should be some accommodation for his upcoming presidency, but they insist the convictions should stand, which I completely think that's bullshit. He should not have any accommodation whatsoever, especially with him being president. To continue the article, it says, a jury convicted Trump in May of 34 counts of falsifying business records related to a $130,000 hush money payment to porn star Stephanie Clifford, aka Stormy Daniels, in 2016. He, of course, denies any wrongdoing. The allegations involved a scheme to hide the payout to Daniels during the presidential campaign to keep her from publicizing and keeping voters from hearing her claim of a sexual encounter with the married then businessman years later. which he is still married. He's still married. I don't see how that idiot is still married after this whole ordeal. It says that he says nothing sexual happened between them, which we all know that's a lie because you, Trump, paid her to keep quiet. A month after the verdict, the Supreme Court ruled that ex-presidents can't be prosecuted for official acts, things they did in the course of running the country, and that prosecutors can't cite those actions to bolster a case centered on purely personal, unofficial conduct, which he did not do this in the course of running the country. He did this prior. All of this he did prior to him running the country. So he completely lied, and his lawyers are completely lying. So really quick, guys, my opinion is that after Judge Merchan makes his final ruling, he should have Emil Bovee and Todd Blanche and all of the other lawyers arrested for tampering with evidence and for making up these bogus claims to illegally keep his client from being held accountable in the court of law in accordance to the U.S. Constitution. To continue the article, it says, Trump's lawyers then cited the Supreme Court opinion to argue that the hush money jury got some improper evidence, such as Trump's presidential financial disclosure form, testimony from some White House aides, and social media posts made while he was in office. In Monday's ruling, Merchan denied the bulk of Trump's claims that some of prosecutors' evidence related to official acts and implicated immunity protections. The judge said that even if he found that some evidence related to official conduct, he'd still conclude that prosecutors' decisions to use these acts as evidence of the decidedly personal acts of falsifying business records poses no danger to intrusion on the authority and function of the executive branch. It says, even if the prosecutors had erroneously introduced evidence that could be challenged under an immunity claim, Merchan continued, such error was harmless in light of the overwhelming evidence of guilt. Prosecutors had said the evidence in question was only a sliver of their case. Trump's communications director, Steve Chung, on Monday called Merchan's decision a direct violation of the Supreme Court's decision on immunity and other long-standing jurisprudence, which we all know that's a lie. We all know that's a lie. Because here is why. Hush money is not an official act. It's a criminal act, and it needs to be only prison sentenced, and not probation, not fines, only prison sentences, in my opinion at least. In my opinion, that's what needs to happen. Because he is an alleged illegal businessman, and he gets away with so many laws that he needs to not be able to run a business or whatsoever. So, that is just my opinion. To continue the article, it says, Trump's communications director, which I already read that portion of the article. Here we go. It says, in quote, this lawless case should have never been brought, and the Constitution demands that it immediately dismissed. That it be immediately dismissed, Chong said in a statement, which I will completely stop him right there and say that is bullshit. That is completely bullshit. And it is not. The Constitution legally does not say that. It does not say that it should not have been brought, or that the case is not in direct violation. That's bullshit. Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg's office, which prosecuted the case, declined to comment. Merchan's decision noted that part of the Supreme Court's immunity ruling declared that nothing or not everything the president does is official. Trump's social media posts, for example, were personal, Merchan wrote. He also pointed to a prior federal court ruling that concluded that the hush money payment and subsequent reimbursements pertained to Trump's private life, not official duties. Trump, a Republican, takes office on January 20th. He's the first former president to be convicted of a felony and the first convicted criminal to be elected to the office. Over the last 6 months, his lawyers have made numerous efforts to get the conviction and the overall case dismissed. After Trump won the last month's election, Merchan indefinitely postponed his sentencing, which had been scheduled for, again, late November, so defense lawyers and prosecutors could suggest next steps. Trump's defense argued that anything other than immediate dismissal would undermine the transfer of power and cause unconstitutional disruptions to the presidency, which that's completely bullshit. That's, again, bullshit, and it won't undermine the constitutional powers of the presidency. They are just making excuses. They are completely making excuses so that Trump can stay out of jail, or that he can stay in the current position he is right now with being able to undermine the U.S. laws and stuff, and it shouldn't happen. It should not happen whatsoever. Meanwhile, prosecutors proposed several ways to preserve the historic conviction. Among the suggestions, freezing the case until leaving office in 2029, agreeing that any future sentence won't include jail time, which I completely disagree. It should also include jail time. Or closing the case by noting he was convicted, but that he wasn't sentenced and his appeal wasn't resolved because he took office. The last idea is drawn from what some states do when a defendant dies after conviction but before sentencing, which realistically I don't think that's honestly gonna happen, because let's face it, Trump hasn't died, obviously, but they still could use that. But again, realistically, he hasn't died, fortunately, in this matter right now. Trump's lawyers branded the concept absurd and took issue with the other suggestions too. Trump was indicted 4 times last year. Again, this is all last year, not in a way this year. This was all last year. So the immunity bullshit and stuff, that does not apply to this. That does not apply to this very case. It doesn't whatsoever apply to this very case. The hush money case was the only one to go to trial, unfortunately. After the election, Special Counsel Jack Smith ended his 2 federal cases, which, again, in right because of Jack Smith ending the federal cases, they technically, legally did not have to be dismissed. They did not legally have to be dismissed. He just dismissed the cases because of the immunity, or the guidance from the Office of Legal Counsel, OLC, that sitting presidents, which Trump isn't a sitting president currently, can't be prosecuted for crimes currently. Which, again, he is not a sitting president currently until January 20th, 2025, all the way until January 20th, 2029. They pertained to Trump's efforts to overturn his 2020 election loss and allegations that he hoarded classified documents at his Mar-a-Lago estate. A separate state election interference case in Fulton County, Georgia, is largely on hold. Trump denies any wrongdoing. Well, guys, that is gonna do it for today's video. If you would like to see more of these historic election or historic case updates, please do feel free to click the subscribe button down below, as well as give me a comment down below in the comment section of your guys' feedback on whether you guys think that this historic case is bullcrap or whatsoever. Until then, guys, until next time, please do not give up hope. We will fix this, we will fix this mess that, Trump and his right-wing, supporters have put us all in. Have a good night, guys, and thank you guys for watching.